Hello. Hello. Yeah. Start. Morning, guys. Welcome to the newspaper analysis for today. That is 28th February. Today, I'll be discussing all of the topics that are in the newspaper in the Hindu. Okay. Let's start with the discussion. Firstly, the first important topic that I would like to discuss is Pakistan bombs Kabul and declares open war. Now, for ages, I think Pakistan and Afghanistan were friends. Right? In any aspect, let's say, be it any militant organization, right? Be it Taliban or any other militant organization, Pakistan and Afghanistan were friends, right? Also, be it reducing the influence of India in Afghanistan, Taliban was helpful. Also, assassinating any other leader or any other person that Pakistan wanted, Taliban helped. They also helped in terror financing, right? Transferring the funds and also the arms. So if you actually see that the relation between Pakistan and Kabul was very friendly and very tight. But all of a sudden something happened. And after that, everything between Pakistan and Afghanistan changed. And that something is nothing but uh, Afghanistan, where Taliban came into power. When it came into power, it came into power in 2021. Once Taliban came into power, everything changed. And by everything, I mean there are three aspects that started to irk Pakistan, which created a friendly relationship into a hostile relationship. And the first aspect that actually started the open war was the border. The border between India and the British India and Afghanistan is called the Durand line. Durand line. Durand line. Right? This Durand line was actually inherited. Inherited by whom? Inherited by Pakistan. Pakistan right after the independence. But then again, the Taliban thought it was not their main problem, because for Taliban it is mainly a militant organization. So its military organizations, what do you call, main tenets were the first priority for Taliban, and that was to rule Afghanistan. Ruling Afghanistan was their main target, so they did not care much about whether the border was being occupied by Pakistan or some other country. So they did not care much. But then again, after coming into 2021, I mean, after coming into the power in 2021, it is now Taliban's problem, because Taliban is the government of Afghanistan now. So it is Taliban's problem. So the tensions rose between Pakistan and Afghanistan regarding the Durand line. This is the first aspect which caused the tension. The second aspect is the Taliban a Tariq. Taliban a Tariq Pakistan. It is nothing but a Taliban. Taliban is basically an Afghanistan organization. So Taliban in Pakistan is called Taliban a Tariq Pakistan. Just like how Taliban's main motto is to rule Afghanistan, Taliban a Tariq Pakistan's main motto is to rule Pakistan. So all of the members of Taliban a Tariq Pakistan reside in Afghanistan. So Pakistan's main say is that Afghanistan is helping all of these people and giving them shelter and giving them terror financing and giving them arms to reach their motto, that is to rule Pakistan. This is another reason why Pakistan had increased tension with the Taliban or the Afghanistan, right? And the third main aspect that led to the tensions is the ties with India. As I was talking about that, Afghanistan and Pakistan had very good ties, and if Pakistan actually asked the Taliban to reduce the influence of India in Afghanistan, they would help. Now, as they became the government, now the Taliban is more what you call maintaining a close relationship with India. It is actually bringing in envoys, right? Maintaining ties with India. So what would Pakistan think? Basically Pakistan thought that if Taliban came into power, it would be obedient to Pakistan, right? That is what Pakistan thought. But then again, that is not happening. When that is not happening, Pakistan started to retaliate. That is why it declared an open war. Now, what does an open war mean? Open war doesn't mean a total war, right? There is airstrikes, right? Then comes open war, where they are openly declaring that we do not have good ties with the Afghanistan. That is called an open war. That does not mean they are going to nuclearize their weapons or their war. It just means that whenever they're going to strike, it is because we do not have good ties with Afghanistan. So that is what open war means. Now, what does that mean to India? It means that Afghanistan's ties will actually increase with India, and then again, Pakistan's retaliation will increase. And but then again, as Afghanistan is not supporting Pakistan that much, so we'll have lesser retaliation from Pakistan, right? These are all the things that we need to keep in mind. So you can use this in GS2 mains. It's not useful for prelims at all. GS2 means international relations, ties with Afghanistan, right? You can use this under ties with Afghanistan in the GS2 paper under international relations. So that is about the first topic of this newspaper, right? Let's go to the second topic. This is not much of a important topic, but I think it is useful for you when it comes to mains in paper 3 and paper 1, where you're talking about health and science and technology, right? So genetics, diet, and metabolic factor lead to obesity. Basically, obesity is something where the BMI is greater than 25 to 30, right? This is for India. And for USA, if the BMI is above 30, then you're obese, right? Now, it's talking about genetic, diet, and metabolic factors. Genetic factors is nothing but you having a predisposition to get obesity. Whenever there are certain genes for insulin regulation, whenever the insulin regulation does not happen, right, your body does not subsume sugars properly, due to which your body stores a lot of fat. And due to the storage of fat, you'll become obese, right? Similarly, diet is nothing but maintaining a healthy diet that is not fat in nature, right? Eating fiber, eating protein, eating nutrient-rich food is called diet. Whenever you're not eating all of these foods, like if you're eating McDonald's or Subway or some junk food, right? Whenever you eat all of these, it comes under a unhealthy diet. And lastly, when it comes to metabolic factor is nothing but where your body, whenever you eat something, how fast is it converting that food into energy? For example, if you eat one roti, how fast is your body metabolizing? Metabolizing means converting that into energy. How fast is it converting? If your metabolic rate is high, your chances of getting obese will be very low. If your metabolic rate is very low, your chances of getting obese are very high. So that is metabolic rate. So it says that India, it says that unlike obesity in Western population, typically defined at BMI above 30, Indians often begin to develop diabetes and fatty liver disease and cardiovascular problems at BMI levels above 23 to 25. It's saying that unlike Western population who have a BMI above 30 show diabetes or cardiovascular diseases, in India, If your BMI is about 23 or 25, then you start showing cardiovascular disease suspectance or diabetes symptoms. Okay, so that is what it's saying. You can actually use this in health under GS1 and science and technology, where you are developing medicines, precision medicines under GS3 and science and technology. Shows how diet can affect the overall health of the India, right? So that is about this one. As the time passes by, the number of important content in the newspaper starts to reduce, right? Before there were a lot of important content, now it's all about politics, less about polity. See, I've been scrolling so much and there's no information that is really relevant. Kerala's paradox. There's an editorial by Shashi Tharoor, right? He's talking about Kerala's paradox can spark its global vision. Basically, it is saying that Kerala is talking about how Kerala is a remittance-based economy and how it does not work in long term, and what it can do to become a part of India that would help India grow. Okay, so basically it is saying that Kerala is a remittance-based economy. Remittance is nothing but where people are sending money from abroad to India. For example, if a family is there, ex-family's son or daughter has been to Gulf and they are earning in Gulf, right, in dirhams. They are sending those dirhams to India. This is called remittance. This comes under revenue receipts. Revenue receipts in India's fiscal deficit. Okay, so yeah, it says that Kerala is majorly remittance-based economy, where 1.3 lakh crore comes from remittances. It says that it does not sustain in the long term, because the main reason remittances do not work in the long term is because of the global tensions. Whenever there's a global tension in the outside country, then the remittances stop to reduce. Whenever these remittances stop to reduce in India, then the dependence of remittances actually increases. Let's say there's an ex-family where the son or daughter is working abroad and they are sending money, say 1 lakh rupees, converted into rupees and sent to a family in India. Right? Now suddenly their main source of income is 1 lakh. The daughter or son is sending 1 lakh, so their main source is 1 lakh. So their main dependence is 1 lakh only. Now suddenly there's a tension. Let's say Ukraine and Russia war is there, due to which the remittances started to reduce. Instead of 1 lakh, they are only sending 20,000. Now it is very hard for them to survive. That is why it is saying that Kerala should not be a remittance-based economy, because in the long term, whenever there is a global tension, it will reduce the remittances and it will actually put a burden on the families in that state. So that is why it is saying do not depend on remittances that much. Now, what does it say? It says that instead of depending on remittances, you can actually use what you have. It says that you have diverse genetic pool. Diverse genetic pool is nothing but having multiple genes in one pool. Basically, Kerala has people coming from Portuguese, Anglo-Indians, French, German, Chinese. So many genes are present in the Keralites. So it says that you have diverse genetic pool through which you can actually bring out precision medicine. And also you can actually analyze the data for medical purposes. Secondly, it says that India imports around 80% of medical devices. 80% of medical devices are imported. It says that as Kerala is more health-based, majority of the nurses are from Kerala, and there are many institutions like engineering institutions or medical institutions in Kerala that are helpful. So it says that why are we depending on the imports that much when we have Kerala, which has a lot of dependence on health sector? You can actually manufacture locally and reduce the dependence. Right? That is what it's saying. Thirdly, it says that you have aqua. Instead of just fishing, why not fish farm? Why not do aquaponics? Right? It says that utilize what you have. Stop being a hunter-gatherer. Hunting gathering is nothing but, if you're fishing, that is actually hunting. It's nothing but hunting. The editorial says that instead of being a hunter-gatherer, be something that is useful for the economy. Right? You can actually bring in various methods to farm. Fourthly, it says that you have a lot of aging population. Aging population is nothing but silver economy. Compared to the rest of India, Kerala is the only state where the population is aging rapidly. So instead of looking at it as a burden, look at it as an opportunity, because at some point in India, we'll have an aging population. At some point in India, we'll have an aging population because the current capital is at around age 29. So at some point, India's population will go to 40s and 50s, right? So what will happen then? We instead of working at that time, why not look at the opportunity here? We currently have an opportunity where we can use an aging population to study the aging population and come up with strategies that can ensure that the aging population is taken care in a good way. That is nothing but geriatric care or care economy. By focusing more on the silver economy, you can actually focus more on the care economy. That is what the editorial is saying, right? The next part is saying that instead of, as Kerala has less land, majority of the land in Kerala is below sea level. Majority of the land in Kerala is below sea level, due to which they are focusing more on fishing. Instead of focusing more on fishing and reducing farming, they are saying that come up with new methods. Come up with new methods of farming. Instead of accepting your fate, accepting your fate and sitting there, accept your fate and move on. Right? Instead of below level farming, you can actually use glasshouse farming. Glasshouse farming is nothing but using vertical farming. Vertical farming means, let's say, these are transparent sheets, right? There's a house of transparent sheets where the sunlight is coming. As Kerala has very less land, it needs to use the land effectively. It says that the editorial says that you need to increase the output per inch. If you increase the output per inch, your food or your exports or your contribution to the economy will be more. So it says that there's a glass house. Glass house is nothing but something that is made of glass or transparent sheets, where the environment within the house is controlled environment, and as the place is very low, you'll use vertical farming. Vertical farming is nothing but stacking the plants. In vertical farming, you use two types of techniques. One is called the hydroponics, and the other one is called aeroponics. Hydroponics is nothing but where you are submerging the roots in nutrient-rich water. Where aquaponics is nothing but you are not submerging the roots in nutrient-rich water, rather than you are leaving them in the air and spraying nutrient-rich mist on the roots, thereby increasing the productivity of the land and also ensuring that the water is not wasted. So this is what it's saying. The editorial is saying that instead of accepting your fate and depending on remittances, you can actually do all of these. Diversify the genetic pool. As you have diversified genetic pool, you can bring in precision medicine. As you have 80%, as we have 80% of medical imports, you can actually manufacture medical devices. And also it says that you can actually focus more on aquaponics and farming techniques. Secondly, fourthly, it says that you have a lot of aging population. Use that as an opportunity to come up with a silver economy and assisted villages. Right? It says that come up with assisted villages, silver economy, and improve the care economy. Fifthly, it says that you have less area in Kerala, so you can use new methods like glasshouse farming to increase the productivity. That is what it's saying. Instead of accepting your fate, ensure that you are moving on. So that is about this article. Kerala's paradox can spark its global vision. You can use this in any aspect, I guess, be it governance. You can use it in GS1. You can use it in GS3 under health and science and technology and environment. Right? You can take one aspect of each and every aspect of this editorial and use it for mains. Next article says that international law is not dead, its rules stay resilient. This editorial is trying to say that international law is not dead, its rules stay resilient, meaning that international laws are not completely stopped. They are not resilient. Not resilient meaning they are not susceptible to the changes that are happening around the world. Whenever there's a war or whenever there's a calamity that is happening around the world, the rules are not changing. The rules are staying as it is. But what you need to understand is that whenever something is happening around the world, the rules need to change accordingly. Whenever they are not changing, people start believing that the rules are dead. So that is what this article's editorial is saying. It is saying that international law is not dead, its rules stay resilient. The author of this editorial says that many journalists around the world think that the world is becoming normless. Normless meaning no rules. No rules are being applied or no rules are being followed around the world, despite many international laws and treaties being present. So that is what he's saying. He's saying that no, what you are thinking is wrong. The whole world is not being normless. It is actually just dormant or not that active in nature. Otherwise, it would have been proper. How is he showing? He's saying that firstly, the reason why many journalists are considering that the world is becoming more normless is because one example they've given is that in the UN Charter, under Article 2.4, it says that a country cannot threaten or force another country. But if you actually seen all of the global tensions that have been happening around the world, be it the US-Iran or Ukraine-Russia or the Israel and Gaza, right? All of these show that this charter is not working at all. When the people see that this is not working, they started to believe that the norms or the rules or the charters are dead in nature. But the author tries to say that it is not dead. How? He says that rules and norms that are present around the world help in three aspects. Firstly, he says that they will ensure that the powerful countries will justify whenever they are conducting an act, whenever they are doing an act, they will justify. If you do not have a norm, they'll not justify. They'll not come up with a reason. They'll not come up with anything. They'll just say, I have the will, I'll do it. If you have a law, they'll say that, okay, I did this act because of this reason. And for that reason, I guess this laws will be more relevant. Secondly, he says that it would help the weaker countries raise their voice. as the powerful countries will justify. Similarly, whenever an injustice or an injustice happening to the weaker countries, they can raise their voice. They can raise their voice only when there is a law or when there is a rule saying that that is wrong. For example, yeah, let's take this. The UN Charter 2.4 says, UN Charter's Article 2 Clause 4 says that a country cannot threaten or force another country. So whenever uh, uh, USA forces Iran can actually say that you are violating Article 2.4 of the UN Charter. Or whenever the Russia attacks on Ukraine can say that you are violating the Article 2.4 of the UN Charter. So it acts as a base for the weaker countries. Thirdly, it says that many people are thinking that the rules and norms are dead only because they are not working in times of war. But the rules and charters that are present are greater than war. They are present for trade, they're present for investment, they're present for biodiversity, right? There are many treaties that are there, right? For example, let's say WTO, World Trade Organization is there. There is amber box, there is green box, there is blue box. It's working, isn't it? There is countervailing duty, there is what do you call anti-dumping duty. All of these are what? All of these are part of international treaties. There is minimum alternative tax by OECD. It is working, right? Then there is biodiversity high seas treaty, which seeks to protect the biodiversity beyond the national jurisdiction. If you actually see, all of these treaties are working. When all of these treaties are working, you cannot say that the acts or the international laws are dead, because you're only looking at it through one lens. You should look at it through all the lenses. Only when you look at everything through all the lenses, then you'll understand whether the acts and international laws are working or not. Right? So that is what the article says. Nothing much. It says that international laws are not dead. They are just stay resilient. So whenever you can use these in GS2 when it comes to international relations, on how the international treaties and laws are not working, and in which aspects they are not working, and in which aspects they are working. So showing how we need to mold according to the situations that are happening around the world. Yeah, that is about that editorial. Next. President undertakes sortie in Prachand. This is not much important for mains, but I think it is much useful for prelims. Prachand is a light combat helicopter. Okay, Prachand is a light combat helicopter which is made by Hindustan Aeronautical Limited, HAL. It is made by HAL, and the aspect that you need to keep in mind is Prachand is the only light combat helicopter that is present in India, and that is indigenously made. Other than that, there is HAL Rudra. HAL Rudra is a armed helicopter. And apart from that, we have Apache. Apache, which is a combat vehicle, combat helicopter, which is brought from USA. Right? So these are the three helicopters that are present in India. One is the light combat helicopter called Prachand, and then is a HAL Rudra, and also Apache. Right? These are the three aspects that you need to keep in mind. There's another aspect here. Navy boosts anti-submarine capability with INS Anjdeep. Here, again, that is useful only for prelims. Nothing is useful for mains here. Okay. The first aspect that you need to keep in mind is that India has around 25 to 30 naval bases, and India has naval bases. India has around 25 to 30 naval bases, right? And it has 3 command centers. One is in Mumbai, Another one is in Visakhapatnam. And the last one is in Kochi. So the Mumbai one is called the Western Command. The Visakhapatnam one is called the Eastern Command. And the Kochi part is called the Southern Command. These are the three main command centers in India. Apart from that, let's look at the naval bases. First, I'll not talk about all the naval bases, only the important naval bases. India's largest naval base. India's largest naval base is present in Karnataka. It is called INS Kadamba. INS Kadamba is the largest naval base in India, whereas the India's smallest naval base is INS Jatayu, which is present in Minicoy Islands. Minicoy Islands in Lakshadweep. And lastly, the oldest naval base in India is called INS Garuda. INS Garuda is the oldest naval base in India, which is in Karnataka again. Okay, these are all the aspects that you need to keep in mind when it comes to prelims. It says that we have three command centers. One is Mumbai, one is Visakhapatnam, and the last one is Kochi. And the largest naval base in India is INS Kadamba. The smallest naval base in India is INS Jatayu, and the oldest naval base is INS Garuda. Right. So those are the important aspects that are present in today's newspaper. Other than that, I don't think there are any important information that is relevant for UPSC that much. Right. So yeah. Thank you guys. We'll meet you again on Monday.